Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Recharge Wednesday. My name is Brittany Coulter. For those of you who do not know, on behalf of Dr. Daniel Davenport and Pastor Khadijah Davenport, thank you for tuning in here live on Facebook for with Victory for Life. So, won't be before you long. I won't hold you guys long. So, we're gonna get right into it. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And let's jump into the word. So today, what are we going to talk about today? I was thinking about this earlier and I was like, Lord, what do you want me to say? The past couple of weeks we talked about faith. We were talking about how we need to increase our faith. I'm like, but there has to be more. What else do you want me to say? What else do you want your people to hear? And then he gave it to me, and I actually gave this sermon a couple months ago. But God said, you know what? You need to run that back. So I'm going to be obedient and I'm going to run it back because I know somebody else needs to hear this, not just me. So all of us has some sort of device that has a battery, right? Whatever you're viewing this on right now, more than likely has a battery, whether it is a laptop, a computer, a phone, a tablet, whatever the case may be. We all have something that has a battery, right? Some sort of device that has a battery. And the primary source of the battery in all these devices is to what? Is to provide power so that these devices can function properly. So all these devices, whether big or small, they have a battery. And we all know there's type of batteries, different sizes, shapes, whatever, volts, all that other great stuff. But the primary function of a battery is to do what? Is to give a charge, right? Is to give a charge so your device can operate properly. So batteries, they send a surge of energy of some sort through a current to a specific device to give it power. And that's as scientific as I'm going to be, I promise. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm sure we all have experienced different instances or issues where, we had a faulty battery and our device didn't function properly or our battery died. And we all know how frustrating it is when, you're out and about and your phone dies and, your device dies. If you have AirPods, your AirPods die. It's frustrating, right? TV remote batteries are probably the biggest pet peeve of mine. I do that little trick where I take the batteries out, I shake them, I put them on the opposite side, hoping that that's going to change it when realistically it's just like a quick fix, right? Because at the end of the day, those batteries need to be replaced. Or maybe, we had the wrong size of battery. So maybe you needed AA batteries, but you bought AAA batteries. We all know batteries have to be compatible in order for that device to work, right? So point being, we must have the correct battery, and that battery must be charged or compatible with that device so that that device can power up, right? So you can power up our device. So it leads me to my next point, the charge, right? The charge. So what is charge? What does charge mean? Charge means to load or fill with capacity, right? To fill or furnish fully, to receive and store a greater quantity of energy. So batteries must be charged in order to generate power so that it can perform the function that it was supposed to do in the first place, right? So example, I have an iPhone, team iPhone, nothing against anybody that has Androids, but Apple products all day. Point being, I can't use my Android charger to charge my Apple products, just like you can't use an Apple charger to charge your Android products, right? There's chargers that are specific to your batteries and batteries that are specific to different devices. I hope everybody's following along. So, what is the main point within me saying all that? Compatibility, right? These things must be compatible. What does compatible mean? Compatible is capable of existing together in harmony. Keyword is in harmony, right? Existing together, compatible. Designed to work with each other or work with another device or system without modification, right? So I shouldn't have to modify my device if it's truly compatible. So sometimes, you might have to get an adapter of some sort if, you have one device that needs to hook to another device, but maybe they aren't compatible, right? Maybe the version that you have is outdated and you need to buy something that's going to make those things compatible. What are we doing? We're trying to force it to make it fit. And sometimes devices just don't fit, but we force them and we try to make them fit. So we buy these adapters and different add-ons so that these things can work. So just like our devices, just like we have batteries for our devices, we have an internal battery for our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, right? So just like our devices, our batteries require a charge. We just can't go forever. If we go too long without sleep, if we go too long without food, if we go too long without water, internally we're going to have some issues, right? We can't just keep going and going and going. Eventually you're going to get burned out. Just like our devices, our batteries can get burned out, right? Everybody has a limit. And I know a lot of times we go past our limit, we push past our limit, but everybody has a limit. Just like our devices, our batteries can become faulty, tainted, or damaged. Just like our devices, our batteries are only compatible or should only be compatible with certain things. But that's not always the case, right? As humans, we have a bad habit of forcing things to fit. And that's just the flesh within us, right? That is the flesh within us that, we try to make everything happen. We try to force ourselves to fit. And that really shouldn't be the case. So I want you all to turn with me to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, because I'm going to make it make sense, right? I'm going to connect the dots and I'm going to give you the point of what I'm saying, the root of what I'm saying that's going to help somebody, because it's going to help me, because I need to unplug from some things this week myself, right? I need to recharge myself and unplug and stop charging other things that I shouldn't be charging, right? So 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, everything is permissible for me, but not all things are beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be enslaved by anything and brought under its power, allowing it to control me. I'm going to read it one more time. Everything is permissible for me, but not all things are beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be enslaved by anything and brought under its power, allowing it to control me. So let's talk about that for a minute, right? What does permissible mean? Permissible means allowable, right? Something may be allowed, but it may not be beneficial. It may not be worth it, right? So you're giving something access to you when it really shouldn't, right? Something might be available, but it's not necessarily for me, right? Something might seem like a good fit, but in reality is really not right. Eating an entire gallon of ice cream before I go to bed might seem beneficial to my taste buds at this time, but in reality, is it a good fit? Is it a good idea? No, of course not. Summer goals is coming up. I shouldn't be eating gallons of ice cream before bed, right? So how does this relate to my whole ordeal on batteries and chargers? Regardless of the type of battery, regardless of the type of device, whether it's a car, a phone, a remote, anything like that, its primary function is to provide some sort of energy surge that will help power the device. Regardless of the type of charger, its primary function is to charge and recharge the battery so that device can operate correctly. So I mentioned earlier that we all have an internal battery, right? Whether you refer to it as a battery or not, whatever you call your internal clock, I don't know, whatever you call it, the thing that gets you going. There's something within you that gives you power, right? Something that gives you power and energy so that you can function and operate on a daily basis. So our batteries require a charge too. The problem is, instead of charging and recharging our own batteries, we are being used as outlets, right? We typically allow ourselves to be outlets to different things, different people, and different situations. So being used as an outlet and a charger for other batteries that aren't compatible is the problem, right? Instead of charging and recharging our own battery, we're charging and recharging other people's batteries, right? We're being that outlet so other people can get charged back up. Being used as a charger for batteries that are dead and that can no longer function. And then we're also being used as chargers for faulty batteries that may need some reconstruction, but we're trying to do the reconstructing when we shouldn't be doing the reconstructing, right? It's not your job to fix or charge or, make everything compatible, but that's what we do. That's what we do. What does this mean? Like, what am I saying? What am I saying? You need to ask yourself, what are you truly plugged into? What are you plugged into? And what's plugged into you? Make a list if you have to. What are you giving power to and what's taking power from you? What are you charging and what are you recharging? Think about it. I'm pretty sure if you make a list of these things, it's going to be more things that more things are going to be plugged into you, more things you're going to be charging, more things you're recharging, opposed to the other side, the things that should be building you up. It's going to be more things that's tearing you down and taking away from you. The worst is everything's permissible, but it's not beneficial. So just because it's there doesn't mean it's right. And just because it's accessible doesn't mean that it's accessible for you. Different things will come along to try to pull energy from you, right? different things will come along to try to pull and take, you being the person that you are, might try to give into these things and help these things and provide a charge and provide an outlet and do all these other things. But, whether it's a person, a spirit, a situation, an experience, whatever, things will try to attach themselves to you and pull energy away from your battery. And then what happens? You're left with an empty battery, right? You're left on E, right? Your battery's on red. You're on 1%. You're running to the charger. You're trying to find that outlet so you can get a charge before you completely die, right? Before you completely burned out. So when I initially did this sermon, I gave an example and I used a power strip. And I'm pretty sure we all have power strips in our house, right? It's the big cord that allows, multiple things to be plugged into the power strip. And then you plug that power strip into the wall. So multiple things can be plugged in and, function at one time. So most of you probably have a power strip somewhere around, your TV or your home entertainment system or whatever. Why? Because you need multiple outlets so that all these things can function and provide power to that main source, which is what? The TV. So I'm going to paint a picture, right? Let's say, it's a Monday and the week just started and, start of the week for most people. A lot of people don't do well on Mondays. I actually like Mondays, but some people don't like Mondays. So let's say it's Monday, service was yesterday, it was Sunday. We're fully charged. We're ready for the week. We're going to have a great week. We give ourselves, that morning pick me up that we need. And then we go to work and something happens, right? Something happens, stressful work environment, boom. First thing that happens in the week, it takes away from your initial charge. So now instead of being on 100%, you're on 85%. But you know what? It's cool. So now you're dealing with that stressful work environment, because that's something that you have to do. And, you allow that stressful work environment to plug into you, right? You allowed it to plug into you and drain you. So now, you got to find a bad habit, to kick that stressful environment. So let's say that, it might be smoking for you. It might be eating sweets for you. It might be spending unnecessary Monday or money, whatever the case may be. You find something to help cope with that stressful work environment, right? So now that's something else that's plugged into you, right? So now instead of that, you got that stressful work environment, that stressful job, and now you have that bad habit, right? So now you got two things that are draining you, and it's only Monday. So fast forward to your lunch break, trying to get your mind right, trying to refocus your energy. But then, you get a phone call from your homegirl who got all this baggage and all these issues, and she just needs to talk, right? She needs to unload. She needs to release. And now what? You're that outlet. So now instead of dealing with, just, your stressful work environment, that bad habit, now you're dealing with somebody else's baggage, right? Because she needed somebody to talk to and she needed to unload. And you know what? You were that outlet that she plugged into. So now we finished the workday out and now we're probably like maybe 55%, right? Thinking about our friends' problems in the back of our head. We got that bad habit. I just ate, I don't know, 5 packs of Twizzlers, and I'm thinking about how stressful work is, and I got to do it all again tomorrow. So on my way home, I'm gonna make myself feel good. So I'm gonna stop by the mall, right? I'm gonna stop by the Louis store and buy that new tote bag I wanted. Knowing good well I can't afford it, but Monday was that bad for me that I got to make it better somehow. So I'm gonna go get into debt, right? Now that's something else that I just allowed to plug into me. So now I got debt, I got the stressful work environment, I got a bad habit, and now I have my friends' drama too. So now I'm draining myself even more, right? And now when I get closer to the end of the day, I had to go home and deal with my significant other, if you have one, whatever, maybe not, maybe it's your kids, whoever it is, the case may be. Now you get into an argument, with your spouse because you spent unnecessary money that you didn't have, or, you arguing with your kids because you told them to take the chicken out so you can cook dinner and they didn't do that. So now you got to get takeout. That's more money that you have to spend that you didn't plan on spending. So now all of these things are playing a part, right? And at this point, you're like almost at E to the point that you just want to go in your room, lay down, and just be done with Monday and start over on Tuesday. But guess what? You never recharged your battery for Monday. So now Tuesday, you're starting off the day and you already don't have that full charge, right? You already don't have, that full 100% that you need because you still have all these things that are plugged into you that you should have just unplugged from, right? You shouldn't allow these things to suck and take a charge from you. They didn't need to. So instead of, unplugging and instead of, recharging ourselves, we overextend and we adapt. So we can continue to power all these different things, right? We can continue to, provide energy into all these different things. But what we need to do is, free up that outlet for something else, right? Free up that outlet for something that's beneficial. Free up that outlet for something that's going to pour into you instead of taking from you. And we all know how it works. You know, power ships can only be stretched so far. And it's the same thing with you. You can only be stretched so far. You know, you can only provide power to so many things. You can only, provide an outlet for so many things. Why not provide that outlet or leave that outlet for something that's going to pour into you? Instead of allowing other people to plug into you, you need to plug into God, right? Plug into the word. Plug into something that's going to feed your spirit daily so that you don't have to go through these things, right? So that you're not coming home at the end of the day feeling like you just can't do it anymore. Just say, God, give me strength. I don't know how many times a day I say that. And guess what? He does. When I feel like I'm at that breaking point where I'm getting ready to let something drain my battery, just that quick, he finds a way, he takes it away, and I'm good, right? I got that charge right back. One more scripture I want to give you guys. If you can go with me to Psalms chapter 29, verse 11. It says, the Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. So stop looking to recharge in other things and other people, right? Tap into your relationship with God. He can restore it all, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the case is, no matter what time of day, the hour, anything. He can fill any void and meet any need. So that is my time for today. I hope you all got something from Recharge Wednesday. My name is Brittany Poulter, and we can't wait to see you guys here next week at 8 p.m. Recharge Wednesday. On behalf of Dr. Daniel Davenport, First Lady Khadijah Davenport, Pastor Davenport, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a blessed week. Thank you so much. Love you guys.